Right, welcome to the inaugural Research Symposium hosted by the Cambridge Existential Risk Initiative. So we have had a summer research fellowship lasting 8 weeks long, and this is the first time we have run it. We have had a cohort of 10 fellows doing full-time research, and this is sort of showcasing the work done by them over the past 8 weeks. So just as the agenda for the event, we have started with some opening remarks, then we will have a talk by Lord Martin Rees on a cosmic lens on existential risks. We'll then split into 2 Zoom rooms where there will be fellows presentations with a social on Galata in the middle, and we'll have closing remarks that wrap up back in the Zoom room at the end. So just a note about reading the agenda which was circulated. For each timing, there will be 2 talks listed under that. The first talk will be happening in Zoom room 1, and the second one will be happening in Zoom room 2. For further clarification on this and to have access to all the joining links, you can just visit our website. There is a section called Symposium, and all the links and the agenda has been listed under there. So the website links should be in the chat, or it's just camexrisk.org. And you will find all the joining links for the symposium on there. So I'm going to start off by just giving some background about CERI. So the top level goal of CERI is to reduce existential risk by raising awareness of and promoting research within existential risk cause areas, specifically by improving the research career pipeline. So this is really looking at someone who is just maybe starting out their career or hoping to pivot into high impact careers, how they can go from being that person to being a researcher at, say, CERI or FHI or other extras institutes. How can we streamline that process and build up that pipeline? So that's the gap that CERI hopes to fill through the Summer Research Fellowship and other programs which will hopefully happen over the next few years. So meet the team. This is the team that made it all happen. CERI has had a super quick turnaround. We started back in May, and we've had a full fellowship being set up since then. We also had tremendous support from EA Cambridge. Dewey specifically was absolutely phenomenal in helping CERI get off the ground, and from other organizations and individuals as well. There are far too many of them for me to list them all individually. But this is the team which has been running the Summer Research Fellowship and just making sure that CERI is like a smooth running machine, so to speak, that making sure that everything is happening as it should be. So I'm going to sort of go back to a slide I had in the CERI launch event, which was about the program objectives. So when we started off the fellowship, these were the 3 things that I envisioned the fellows will get out of the next 8 weeks. It was like learn, collaborate, and motivate. And the focus was really on community building, that through the fellowship, the fellows will discover an existential risk community, which hopefully they will stay a part of beyond just the fellowship. So now, over the next few slides, I'm going to pull out the highlights from the Summer Research Fellowship and how we actually achieved these objectives, or at least tried our best to achieve them. I won't say that we achieved them because that's for the fellows and the others to judge, but the way we tried our best to facilitate achieving these objectives. So we started off with the launch event, which, it was just 8 weeks back, but it seems 2 pandemics ago. It wasn't 2 pandemics ago, but it just seems far too long. The past 8 weeks with the fellows have been absolutely amazing, and so much has happened that it seems like an eternity away then. Sean, the co-director of CERI, came and gave a talk on existential risk research. We had the fellows and the mentors joining in, so it was a great way for them to connect with each other. And it was just getting the fellowship started, outlining the objectives, and just the launch event. Then we had a doing impactful research workshop. So the fellows had to submit a project proposal in week 1. We had a workshop on how to do impactful research, which I think was quite important to be had at that early stage when the fellows were still deciding on the direction for their projects. We also set up a system for every fellow to have a one-to-one with every other fellow, which I think the fellows have found to be quite valuable. So they have all spoken with each other. There were only 10 of them, so it was easy for us to organize. And I think that really helped us build up that community, which working remotely can be quite challenging to achieve. We also had weekly CERI check-ins. So each fellow met up with a member of the CERI team every week. to discuss things like project plans, what's been happening that week, productivity, how has their mental health been. So it's just really a check-in routine, sort of a constant over the 8 weeks, which hopefully they found helpful. We also had various social events like a quiz night. We had some icebreakers. We had joint socials with CERI, that's the Stanford Access Program, and the Swiss Access Program. So we had social events every fortnight. We had midpoint presentations, which was a signpost of all the work the fellows had done in the first 4 weeks. And at least I was personally super impressed by how much they had achieved in that short window back then. It seemed like their projects were shaping up to be quite fantastic. And that was when we took our first all cohort photo. So this is the CERI 2021 cohort. Lovely photo with people calling in from all sorts of time zones, with someone up at 5 a.m. in the morning or someone up till 12 a.m. at night. So this is a CERI cohort that we've worked with over the past 8 weeks. Then we also had a forecasting workshop, which was open to CERI and CERI programs as well. And we had a talk from the president of the Nuclear Threat Initiative on new research directions for nuclear risk reduction, which was quite engaging, and it also had a good attendance. You can review this talk on our YouTube channel if you so wish to. We also had a precipice reading group, which lasted all 8 weeks of the fellowship. So every week, the fellows met up in our co-working GatherTown workspace and discussed either various aspects of the precipice or most probably just going off on tangents about things that they found cool. Arthur and Ray were the facilitators who helped make that happen. And I think some valuable discussions happened in the precipice reading group, which I know for a fact that some of them were also taken offline to be further extended as thought experiments or other cool discussions to be had. We also created 2 toolboxes over the fellowship. One was a research skills toolbox, helping the fellows with how to do good research, but also how to do impactful research. So this was the distinction I made quite clear in the launch event, that CERI is all about doing impactful research, not just good research. So we created a toolbox to help fellows with that. We also created a presentation skills toolbox for today. So hopefully you'll see that come across in today's presentations. And on top of all of this, the fellows have produced some amazing research. We are compiling a journal of their research right now, which should hopefully be out within a few weeks, because some fellows are still finalizing various aspects. But they have done fantastic research on top of all the activities that we did put forward. And that has, I know of at least 2 fellows who, they have thought about this has directly fed into their decisions around careers, and the fact that they had 8 weeks to do just research has been valuable to them. And this all happened with the help of the CERI mentors. We could not have run the fellowship without you. We don't have the subject expertise to guide the fellows on their subject areas. So this was the CERI mentor. I don't know if I should be using the word cohort, but maybe I should. The CERI mentor cohort of 2021, who supported our fellows with weekly check-ins or correspondence via Slack or emails, and supported them with the academic or technical aspects of their fellowship, of their project. Now, this is sort of an overview of the CERI fellowship for this year, and sort of reflections on what things were highlights, at least for me personally. But for the journal that we are going to be publishing in a few weeks, we have an opening letter from Lord Martin Rees, and that will come out in a few weeks. I will circulate that around when that does happen. But I would like to highlight a quote, which we ended the midpoint presentations with this quote. And I just want to, bring it up again, because I think it's one of the best quotes I have read. It's encouraging to witness more activists among the young, unsurprising as they can expect to live to the end of the century. Their commitment gives grounds for hope. Let's hope that many of them become scientists and true global citizens. There are few rare times when there seems to be a special motivation to work together across nations and across generations for the benefit of humanity. This feels like one of those times. So this is a quote from Lord Martin Rees in a letter to a new generation of existentialist researchers. I think this resonates with me as well quite strongly, because I like to think of myself as being one of the new generation of access researchers. And just even with COVID, the way that we have all come together to work for the benefit of humanity is just a prime example of showcasing that this is actually true, that this does give ground for hope, that we can tackle all of these X-risk issues that we face today. And that sort of brings me back to something that I talked about in the launch event, that the humanity, we have already solved so many great challenges, which means that there is, lots of potential to tackle these existential risk issues. And I'm hoping that CERI, CERI will be, CERI will fill the gap in making this happen, in solving these issues.